Hey guys, we are back. I didn't intentionally mean to do this, but this will be part 2 because the other video ended up being an hour long. I apologize, I did not realize it was going to be that long. I would have probably split it up, but oh well, I was enjoying having the little story time. So, with this, I didn't get anything, or I cleaned off the plastic off a video. I still gotta cut stuff out. I forgot about doing the taillights. This is a resin body that gives you an example of what I'm doing with the taillights. Excuse me. I forgot about the little vent window back here. I gotta put that in still. But this is a really rough resin body. I've showed this before in the on the channel. But it gives a good example of what I will be doing to make this car look like that. I still gotta cut the quarter panels down, which I will use the Dremel with a sanding wheel because it takes forever. Cut the taillights out. Still gotta figure out a bumper cover. I'm not sure what to do there. I need to get a hold of the customer for that. But so let me tape this off. There's my big tape, and I'm going to draw it out so I can put it on this and match this quarter panel. I think I'm going to cut the tape to that. We'll see how it sticks and see where it goes from there. I believe the roof, I can't really know how well it will work until I get the quarter panels cut down and trimmed down to see where the roof lines up. But it looks like that's going to be, well, I guess I can. It looks like that's going to be pretty dang close. Actually, heck, I can do that right there. That might be easier to do, is just trace that line on the quarter panel. Yeah, I think I'm going to try that. Well, yeah, I'm going to tape it down in the back so I can do that and make sure it stays flush. Or, here. There we go. Up against it. No, it's up against it. There we go. Well, let's do that then. That makes that a lot easier. Wish I would have thought about that the first time. Now, with doing this, you still will have probably a little bit of clearance to work to make it completely accurate, like a lot more sanding down, but that gets you down to the gist of it, basically. That one's not wanting to work. Cooperate. Stay. Like I said, my measurements aren't perfect. I'm making it as close as I can. I will double check the measurements on it with the other side just to make sure these are close. The measurements are in the same spot on the bottom of the doors, so it's square. So this is, I use this in for the most part, 4mm. Pretty close, because I don't know if I actually cut those completely accurate or cut the lengths to the same side. So I guess I can do a top right here, which is still 4mm. 4mm. So yes, those are basically the same. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Dremel cut wheel, cut it down first, and then I will sand it down. So let's get to that. Yeah. It'll be noisy for a second. Remember, like I said, wear eye protection when doing this. Because it does not feel good to the eye. Now, I have 2 Dremels for this because I could bounce back and forth on cutting it down and trimming. But right now, just try it. That will be it's not perfect, but I can see. Looks like I got gosh darn close. So this other Dremel, and I think I got to change my fit out. Yep. Where's my wrench? Sorry guys, my wrench has went MIA again. Oh, gosh darn it. Alright, found my wrench. I'm going to use this. I will say, go very slow because it will melt quickly. I apologize for that being so loud. I don't know what happened to my Dremel to make it that loud, because it is usually not that loud. Now my ears hurt. Let's see how close we are. As you can see, I'm not completely on the line yet. I wanted to keep a little bit away just so I could trim it down, sand it down, and get it just perfect with the quarter panels. And I still have yet to add the plastic to hold it yet, but that is pretty darn close. That is way, way better than I did the first time. This side still needs to come in a tiny hair. I need to sand it in a little bit, but that is so much better than the first time. And with sanding on this stuff, all it takes is a little bit, usually, to get it right. As you can see, I wasn't on my line quite yet. I'm guessing that's why it won't fit. Or it could be that little plastic there that's catching. I guess I haven't sanded the body yet, or sanded the edge of the body, this body, to make it clean yet. Oh, sorry about the bump in the camera. And if you noticed, you'll see the C pillars are gonna be modify it a tiny bit to fit up there. This side needs to come in a tiny bit, it looks like, or feels like. I really wish I would have did that the first time, because that made that so much stinking easier. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and glue my sheets of plastic here so I can have something to rest those on, because this is getting a pain in the butt. Now these don't have to be perfect, but you will want to use like a thin sheet of plastic so it's easier to cover up once you do the roof work. I'm not making these perfect, but it's just enough to hold it. I'm going to make 3 straps for the quarter panels, or 2 for the quarter panels and 1 for the roof. Again, I use the Tamiya extra thin for applying my stuff. Use that thinner one on the bottom on the quarter panels. With the Tamiya extra thin, all you gotta do is rub it on. Some people prefer to do this, have it already on the plastic and can join it, which a lot of the times it does work better when you do that way, because it melts the plastic together. So regular red glue just bonds the items together. Tamiya extra thin melts the pieces together, especially this thin stuff. So this extra thin plastic, you can go over it with Tamiya thin and bend it around contour edges. That's how I did like these. I bent it up around the edges, so I made it curved around the body. Each plastic, or each compound has its own specialties. So see, these need cut down. I need to cut them shorter. Where'd my knife go? There it is. This part of the video will probably not be nearly as long, as I have I still gotta do all the body work, which I'm not sure yet if I want to put in the video. I still need to cut down. I'm not sure if I want to do the body work yet in the videos, or wait and do that on another video. Well, the way it's looking at, I shouldn't need much putty. Obviously I have the seams I gotta fill still, but it don't look like I will need much putty to hold it together. I'm gonna put these on the doors. Sorry I keep bumping the camera. I don't have much space. Put quite a bit there. There we go. Oh. Gosh darn it. Hold. Yeah. Nope. And this is where the clips will come in. Handy. Just making sure you got, gosh darn it, a nice good bond holding the plastic together. I have 2 clips. There's the other clip. Do the same thing on the other side. Now with these clips from Dollar Tree, you gotta be careful when gluing, because that rubber will glue to your model. I've done it quite a few times. But there's that. I'm gonna let those dry for a minute. I will be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. Those should be held. And this glue does not take long to dry. It takes maybe a couple minutes, if that. Alright. So the roots, I gotta get those cleared, but now it's just a lot of trial and error on mocking it up, getting it to fit. This is the fun part. Feels like this needs to come in some. I should have put the tab on the roof so I could hold it better. That side's pretty close. The other side is not. What is going on? I think part of it I'm fighting these C-pillars. Yep, I think that's what I'm fighting, is the C-pillars. Okay, so this one needs sanded down some more. This part's it takes forever. Not forever, but it takes a while to get. The last one I did, I ended up messing up 1/4 and I had to fill in quite a bit, but luckily I was making a derby car, so I was able to cover it up with the creasing. If I do enough of these, I'll be able to get it in one shot. This is only the second one I've done so far. I know people 3D print the bodies now, but when a body runs for $50 and you can buy the kits for $15 a piece, I can make the body. And I prefer messing with actual styrene over the 3D bodies. Yeah, they got their places when you can't get obsolete cars. There. Oh. Alright, I gotta figure out how to get this. As you can see, I'm fighting it quite a bit. There. Are you gonna let me? That is darn near perfect. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I should have put the clip or plastic on that, but that looks. Get it. There we go. I think what I'm gonna have to do. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I cut the door back a little bit, or not cut the door, but sand that edge in. I need to get it closer to the line. Again. Did I need these paper? I don't know what sandpaper I'm using. This all came from an estate sale, and I just used what I got. Some of it is gritty, like I wouldn't use that on the surface of the plastic, but it does work well for taking out the plastic quickly, and then I can go over it with the finer sandpaper to make it better or smoother. Again, like I said earlier, don't be cutting yourself towards yourself like I am right now. Yes, I know I'll probably have to work on the passenger side still too. Ooh, almost a seamless door line. There we go. Almost. I gotta trim tiny bit more, and that will be flush. It's a slow but surely process. Probably shouldn't be cutting that way. Should be going against it. Awesome. I'd say that's pretty stinking close. Wagon's looking way better than the first one. I am very proud of this one. Alright. Okay. And same thing with this one. Let's see that line. This task is not, so I'm not even like a seasoned builder, like I'm perfect at this stuff, but this is not a beginner job, and you need tools for it to make it quite right. Is that right? There we go. Both quarters are done. Now I gotta glue everything up, notch the roof to get the A-pillars, or C-pillars attached. This is gonna be fun. Alrighty, meshing stuff up. And this is where the sprue goo, or well, almost comes in handy. So you see the seam line on the roof. I will use the sprue goo on that and fill a lot of that, gosh darn it, in. Let me get the roof glued first before I keep talking. That's not gonna work, is it? Gosh darn it. There we go. That helped drastically. Where is it? Oh yeah, no, this would be down here. Sprue goo. That's what I'm doing, is mixing it up so I can get the goo on the brush. And it works well because you could sand it down. Yeah, it takes a bit to dry because it's got the goo to dry through. And I will sand it down because I plan to get this body and primer and have it basically done when it goes to the customer. All he's got to do is paint it. Clips out. Had to get some more clips. Oh, pulled the roof apart. Gosh darn it. Apparently the quarter was not close as I thought it was. On the passenger side. This side's very close. Club it in. No. I wish there was some easier way to clip this. Well, there probably is, but I don't know it. What in the world? What the heck is going on? That's what's going on. So when doing it, make sure you get those pillars up, because that is what I'm fighting right now. They keep going up and pushing the quarter panel, or the roof, off. There. And I am okay with positive critiques in the comments. Don't just be bashing me, but I'm okay with people saying or telling me different ways and critiquing me on it. Just be nice about it, I guess. I guess you can be a jerk about it. I don't care. Comment is a comment. It helps the algorithm for some reason. YouTube likes that stuff. But alright, I'm going to let this set here for a while and dry, let the roof cure, and I will be back. Hey guys, this is the third part to the second part, basically. Or I guess you could call it the fourth part. I videoed part of this, and my video somehow flipped the camera in the middle of the video. I don't know how, because my phone is stationary on the stand. So not sure what happened. So I lost part of the video coverage of what I done. I got the tail lights not done yet. I'm still working on them. That's the driver's side. I got the passenger side almost fully cut, where it could seat in there and actually be the tail light. And if I don't mention this in the first part, the tail lights are out of a 90s Chevy pickup. They're what's close enough to a caprice back tail light, make it work. I gotta cut cut a little bit out of the bottom of the quarters. I made a back bumper. The customer wants to have a factory bumper, so I gotta do some work on getting that fit in, which I made it, and I will cut these in a little bit and make it square, because if you notice, these actually protrude outwards where the bumper attaches. I'm not trying to make it perfect, but I'm trying to make it resemble the back bumper as close as I can. I don't have anything at the moment to do the grit guard or step, I guess, on it, but we're trying to get that as close as possible. I still gotta add the vent window flanges and finish cutting these taillights out. And then I gotta go through, putty, prime it, and make sure it is all uniformed, and fill in some holes still with Bondo. I got the C-pillars attached now, so we're almost done with it. Still, well, I say almost done. This has probably got at least another hour of work. This video is, well, before I lost the other footage, was going to be another about hour-long video. So I guess now it's only going to probably be about 45 minutes. But I'm not going to bore you guys with me just cutting these out like I did on the last video, or the first half of the video with everything. So I'm going to cut these taillights out, get them uniformed, I will show you how I cut the quarter panels. Well, I'm still not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I think I will just cut a little bit of a notch into them so I can slide the bumper in, and then I'm going to have to use more sheet styrene to fill up that quarter panel to give it that little bit of a ledge for the back bumper. But there we go. There's that. That's a little update, and I'm going to go back to work because I can't run my air conditioner and it is hot in the house right now with the video, so I'm going to do time lapse on the rest of this work for the most part. So we'll see you around towards the end. Well, this is day 3 of what was supposed to be a 1-day set on the evening and build. The glue was taking forever to dry and everything. My camera messed up on some of the footage, so I don't have all of it. But I got the roof puttied. I still got to sand it all down. I puttied in the quarter panels and the back bumper to give it a little bit of that flare that the back end has. I still got to sand all that down. But I'm going to make this the end of the video because I'm already pushing, again, an hour. And it took me 3 days to upload, or 2 days to upload the first half of the video. But I'll probably do a small short of this when it's completely finished in another video, or might just make it a little short. But got the putty in the door seam right here. The back bumper, I know I end up losing the footage on it. So this is a sheet styrene that I put over a very big square stock styrene right here. I put it over this so the bumper would be basically solid, but I put back far enough that I can make the edges rounded. As you can see, it's in here, and that helped make this a lot stouter and structurally sound, so it don't just fold up real easily or get messed up. I filled in the bottom of the tail lights. This is stuff I lost coverage on. The tail lights are cut out and marked out for the tail lights, which I will send these with him so he can mount them when he gets it all painted. And oh, I got still a little bit of fixing on that one, but pretty happy with how well this car looks like an actual 90s Caprice. I'm very, very happy with it. The customer seems to be pretty happy too with it. But, whoops, there went both taillights. But as you can see, it is not a task that's for the faint of heart, and it takes some time. It's not just well, if you have the right utensils better than I do, it could be a evening build project, or if you're making a derby car and you don't gotta make it perfect. But that's how you do it. I really hope you guys, this helps some people out. It was a lot of work, and it's a lot of editing and stuff, so I really hope some people can get use out of these videos. Thank you. Have a great one, guys.